Some killers are born, others are made, but this assassin is something much deeper. Let's jump into the video and find out the origin of the Marvel character Bullseye. Bullseye's origin is intentionally contradictory, built from conflicting stories he tells to manipulate others. His past functions like a weapon, reshaped whenever it suits him. One version depicts him as an 8-year-old living in a rundown trailer with an alcoholic father. He practiced archery obsessively, and after his father tried to stop him, he waited for him to pass out, drew a target on his forehead, and killed him. Another account places him in Queens with an abusive father who worked for the NSA, an older brother, and his mother. In some tellings, his brother set their apartment on fire to kill their father. In others, Bullseye himself set the fire. A separate story portrays him as a gifted baseball pitcher who got bored during a game and threw a pitch so precise it killed the batter. Banned from baseball, he was allegedly recruited by the NSA, who saw potential in someone who could kill with a baseball. They began training and shaping him into what he would become. Which, if any of these stories are true, is uncertain, but what is certain is he eventually found his way into military operations in Southeast Asia. There, he discovered something more exciting than baseball, the rush of taking lives. After the military operations, he never attempted a normal life. Instead, he honed his skills and drifted into the world of contract killing. Bullseye's early mercenary years were a blur of globe-hopping violence. He crossed paths with Deadpool, spent time training in Africa, and may have brushed up against the Punisher during a job in South America. Every assignment sharpened his instincts, and eventually he reinvented himself as a costume killer, adopting the name Bullseye. His first public appearance in New York set the tone for everything that followed. He confronted millionaire Arthur Honeycutt and demanded $100,000 in exchange for his life. When Honeycutt refused, Bullseye ended the negotiation with a pen, a casual murder that immediately drew Daredevil's attention. Bullseye staged his first major clash with Daredevil at a circus in Madison Square Garden, turning it into a televised spectacle. He wanted the world to see his precision and to understand that his threats were never empty. Daredevil stopped him from adding more bodies to the pile, but Bullseye had already made his point. After several failed attempts to outmaneuver Daredevil, Bullseye escalated things. He stormed a TV studio, rigged knives above hostages, and demanded another broadcast showdown. But Daredevil bested him again. Bullseye retaliated by kidnapping the Black Widow, using her as bait, but the plan collapsed. He was defeated and sent to prison. Behind bars, doctors discovered that Bullseye had a brain tumor. The pressure from the tumor twisted his hatred into something feral. He began seeing Daredevil's face on everyone around him. When he escaped and confronted Daredevil again, the hero defeated him and delivered him to a hospital, saving his life. The tumor was removed, but the obsession remained. Bullseye was later released on a technicality and hired by the Kingpin's former syndicate to assassinate their old boss before he could turn over evidence to the authorities. Instead, the Kingpin persuaded Bullseye to switch sides, but Daredevil defeated him yet again, sending him back to prison. In prison, the Punisher taunted him, hinting that Bullseye had been replaced as Kingpin's top assassin, hoping to provoke him into doing something fatal. Bullseye broke out and hunted down his replacement Elektra and killed her. When he later visited the morgue in disguise, he sensed Matt Murdock react to his presence with uncanny awareness. That moment sparked a theory. Daredevil and Matt Murdock were the same man. The Kingpin dismissed the idea, but Bullseye was convinced. He went after Murdock at his home, only to fall for a decoy rigged by Daredevil, who had anticipated the move. Their fight carried them high above the city on narrow wires strung between rooftops. Bullseye slipped, Daredevil caught him, and Bullseye, refusing to be saved by his enemy, tore himself free. The fall shattered his spine. Paralyzed and unable to speak, his story should have ended, but Kenji Oyama, Lord Darkwind, had him taken to Japan and rebuilt his spine with adamantium. Lord Darkwind hoped to recruit him, but once healed, Bullseye returned to New York and resumed working for the Kingpin. He was sent after Daredevil, defeated, and handed back to the authorities. When Daredevil mysteriously vanished from Hell's Kitchen, Bullseye seized the opportunity. He stole a Daredevil costume and patrolled the streets as a warped imitation of the hero. The longer he wore the mask, the more he convinced himself he was Daredevil. When Matt Murdock regained his memory and realized Bullseye was tarnishing his name, he responded in kind, donning Bullseye's costume and confronting him. Murdock won, snapping Bullseye out of his delusion. Bullseye returned to contract work for the Kingpin and others. He clashed with the Punisher and murdered Karen Page, and later attempted to kill Matt Murdock after Daredevil's secret identity leaked. This time, Daredevil snapped. He beat Bullseye mercilessly, pinned him down, and carved a crude bullseye into his forehead with a rock. Bullseye continued to operate. He destroyed NSA sites to eliminate his father, accepted an AIM contract on Ruby Thursday, and manipulated the Petrillo and Rossi crime families while framing the Punisher. He was later used as a pawn in the Kingpin's Murdoch paper scheme, fought multiple heroes, and was defeated by Daredevil and Elektra. He ended up imprisoned in the same facility as the Kingpin and eventually Matt Murdock, who surrendered on federal charges. During a staged prison riot, Bullseye was freed from his restraints by men working for the Kingpin. Meanwhile, Daredevil and Kingpin briefly cooperated to escape, but Matt refused to let Bullseye leave with them. The standoff erupted into another brutal fight, ending with Bullseye shooting the Kingpin before Daredevil put him down yet again. Bullseye is an Olympic-level athlete and fighter whose signature skill is his near-superhuman precision. He can throw virtually any object with lethal accuracy, even at long distances and high speeds. His body has been reinforced with strips of adamantium along parts of his skeleton, including his spine, giving him enhanced durability without limiting mobility. Though highly intelligent, he is also deeply unstable, a combination that fuels unpredictable and often self-destructive violence. His encyclopedic knowledge of human pressure points and his ability to weaponize almost any object, from conventional tools like knives and firearms to everyday items such as pens and playing cards, make him one of the most dangerous combatants in the Marvel Universe. Now please help this video hit the algorithm bullseye by hitting the like button, dropping a comment, and subscribing. Well, that's the origin of the Marvel character Bullseye, and that does it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Peace.